Have you ever seen something that just doesn't look real? Something that seems to defy the very laws of physics? Well, today we're going to unravel a truly fascinating puzzle: how a simple magnet can make a bowl of perfectly still seawater spin continuously all on its own.
And here it is, the central contradiction in a nutshell. We all know the rule, right? Seawater isn't magnetic. You can put the strongest magnet you can find next to it, and nothing. But then you see this, the exception. That same magnet is somehow creating a continuous, spinning vortex in the very same water. So, what is going on here?
That's really the big question, isn't it? How can an invisible force, one that doesn't even attract the water, create this constant, visible motion? And I promise you, this isn't some clever magic trick. It's an incredible dance between thermodynamics and magnetic resonance. So let's break it down. So, to solve any good mystery, you have to start with the evidence. We need to look at the recipe, the exact setup for this experiment, because as you're about to see, every single detail is crucial. The physical setup is actually brilliantly simple. All you need are two glass containers, one sitting inside the other one. And the seawater? It just fills that ring-shaped channel in between them, what scientists call the annular gap. And that shape is key, because it focuses all the motion into a really clean circular flow. Okay, next up, we need two absolutely critical starting conditions. First, you need a powerful magnet, a neodymium one. Its field has to be strong enough to actually get through the glass and interact with the water. And second, and this is a huge clue, the seawater needs to be warm. It has to act as a thermal reservoir, heated up to at least 30 degrees Celsius. That heat, well, that's the secret fuel for this whole thing. And maybe the coolest part about all of this is that it's not some complicated setup locked away in a high-tech lab. I mean, just look at the comparison here between the scientific diagram and a real-world photo. This is something you could basically build in your kitchen. It brings this incredible scientific principle right into our world.
All right, now for the action. It's a very precise three-step sequence. First, you excite the system. That just means you place the magnet against the glass wall. Then you circulate it. You just swipe it around the container about 10 times. But the most important step, the one that feels totally counterintuitive, is the last one. You decouple. You completely remove the magnet and you just wait. That little pause, that's where all the magic really happens.
So, we've seen how it's done. Now we finally get to the core of the mystery. Why does it actually work? To understand that, we have to shrink ourselves down, way, way down, and watch the microscopic dance of ions happening inside the water. This is where we see the magic revealed as pure, elegant science. But before we get to the answer, let's get one thing straight. The intuitive assumption, what you and I would probably guess, is that the magnet is just dragging the water around like a big magnetic spoon. But that's not what's happening at all. The reality is so much cooler. The magnet is just a catalyst, a trigger. The real alignment, the thing that causes the motion, happens after the magnet is gone. And the energy? It comes from the most unexpected place, the water's own heat. Okay, so let's zoom in. Phase 1 is what you'd call microscopic chaos. Seawater is just full of these dissolved ions, and you can think of each one as a tiny, tiny compass needle. In their normal state, they're all pointing in completely random directions. They're a jumbled mess, so all their forces cancel each other out, and the water stays perfectly still. Then comes phase 2, forced realignment. When you start circulating that big magnet, its powerful field acts like a drill sergeant. It barks at all those little compass needles and forces them to point in the same general direction. But, and this is super important because you're moving the magnet by hand, it's a messy, unstable alignment. They're all facing the right way, but they're not in sync. And this is the incredible part. The moment you take the magnet away, something amazing happens. It's a phenomenon called autosynchronism. With the big bossy magnet gone, the ions suddenly start influencing each other. They spontaneously organize themselves into a perfect shared rhythm. It's like a flash mob on a molecular level. And that perfect synchronization is the trigger. As soon as they all lock into that perfect dance, the water itself suddenly begins to spin. So we've cracked the mechanism, but there is one final, really crucial question. All of this movement takes energy. It's doing work. So if the magnet isn't providing the energy, then what is powering this thing? Where does the fuel come from? The answer has been hiding in plain sight this whole time. The energy isn't coming from the outside at all.
The spinning motion is being powered by the water's own internal thermal energy. That's the heat we added right at the beginning. The magnet just acts as the key, unlocking the water's ability to convert its own heat into physical motion.
And this is that direct conversion in action. Just think of that 30-degree water as a fully charged battery. As the ions all sync up and the water starts to spin, it's performing real mechanical work, and it has to pay for that work by spending its own thermal energy. The water is literally a self-powering heat engine. So what's the tangible proof? A simple temperature drop. As the water spins, it must get colder. And in some versions of this experiment, you can measure a drop of as much as 2 degrees Celsius. For every little bit of motion you see, an equivalent amount of heat energy has just been used up. It's beautiful thermodynamics in action. Okay, so let's put all of these amazing pieces together. We've looked at the setup, we figured out the microscopic mechanism, and we found the secret fuel source. Now let's see how they all connect into one perfect, self-sustaining chain reaction. This diagram just lays out the whole beautiful cycle. Let's walk through it. It all starts with our inputs. You've got the magnet acting as the catalyst and the warm water as the fuel. Then our manual circulation creates that unstable alignment, the micromechanism. Then the key step, we remove the magnet and boom, auto-synchronization takes over, creating perfect order from chaos. And all of that leads to the final output. The water spins, converting its own heat into motion and cooling down while it does it. It's a perfect, self-contained engine. So, we'll end on this thought. We started with what looked like a simple paradox, a magic trick, and we ended up uncovering this incredible, hidden engine inside a bowl of water, an engine powered by nothing more than its own heat. It just makes you wonder what other extraordinary engines are hiding in plain sight all around us, just waiting for the right catalyst to be discovered.